Alright everybody, I just got my Ace Pro about 3 hours ago. So I just had a little time to play with it for a little bit. You've probably heard of me being on a lot of reviews lately, voicing my concerns and my support for this particular camera. Just so you know, I'm not getting paid by Insta360, nor am I sponsoring or being sponsored. I did get a free T-shirt, so I'm not sure if that's going to make an impact. Doesn't even fit anyway, so I'm just gonna do some night shots quickly. I'll do a little bit more about this camera once I get more time. It's been kind of crazy around here, but I'm taking my dog out. Hello, it's Guinness. Hey, Bobby. Say hi again. Hey, Bobby. So this is being first shot at 4K at 30 with low light stabilization on. So just to give you an idea of what it looks like in the dark, and this is the main reason why I'm buying mine. Um, Let me see if I can just jump into zoom here. Take a look. This is zoomed in with the clarity zoom. It's hard to see on a camera screen like any action cam, especially at nighttime. But that gives you an idea. This is not even in pure video mode in zoom. So I'm going to switch to pure video mode. I'm going to do a walk around, and I'll switch back to regular mode, and you can see the difference between the I'm walking the dog, so it's going to be a little weird. Okay, I'm switching to pure video mode now. Okay, now this is in pure video mode, 4K, 30 frames, stabilizer on, low light stabilizer on. I can actually even see it on the screen. It's actually much brighter, so we'll see how this looks once it hits the computer, and then I'll get a better idea. But it looks good on the screen. Anyways, hi Guinness. Say hi. Okay, you ready? Okay, let's go. So we're just gonna do a walk around the neighborhood. So you see the Christmas lights are all out. Hopefully I'll pick up some of the lights really good at night. Give me a minute here. I'm gonna walk a little bit. I'll do a zoom on this. I think I should be able to do a zoom on pure video. We'll see. Anyways, I just want to cover a couple things that people have been talking about. Some concerns about this camera when they don't have the camera, and there's a couple people who do have it. First, I'm going to cover the battery door. The battery door and the connection door on mine are very tight. I'll post a video of the unboxing. You'll notice that I could barely even get it open, so I can't see this opening by mistake by hitting a rock or whatever. I just can't see it. You have to slide it down and then pull it out, very much like the DJI Osmo cameras. So it's not a lot of difference there. So who knows, maybe he's got one that's a little looser, whatever. But as far as mine's concerned, it's pretty on there tight. The other one is, the big one is the lens guard. Yeah, it doesn't have a lens guard. It is a separate piece. So I'm gonna guess that this piece can come off. In pre-launch mode, this camera had a removable lens guard. So from what Insta360 told me, they decided to resin the cover on due to dust and waterproofing to ensure that there is absolutely nothing going in that lens part. Good decision? Probably not, as we already have been talking about this. Is it fixable? Yeah, there's workarounds. Get an ND filter for it, UV filter. Some people have already done it. Mine's on its way. There should not be any degradation. If there is, then you've got a cheap filter. Get a good filter. It's that simple. You know, they've been using filters for cameras for decades on pro SLR cameras, so there's no reason for that. I'm not gonna be surprised if we start seeing third-party companies come out with lens repair kits for this, because if that breaks, I can probably take that piece off and replace it myself once I'm out of warranty. They are offering you a free year, but I know a lot of people saying, oh, it's a hassle to send it in, blah 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 blah. You know, there's always going to be people who are unhappy. It's that simple. The other part is the flip screen. If you had a chance to look at this camera, the people who have it, take a look at that articulating screen. It's insanely robust. It almost feels like it's made out of metal. The hinge part is tight. It doesn't wiggle. There's no movement. Flips up nice and tidy. People are talking about that little cable that's connecting the camera to the screen. Also, take a quick look at that cable. Most cables of this type, whether it's in a phone or camera, they're vinyl protection. This thing is rubber. Just so you know, I'm guessing it's probably going to have a lot more longevity in terms of folding back and forth. Yeah, I know. Flip screen's not the great idea for an action cam. Doesn't matter how tough it is, it's gonna snap if you put enough force on top of it or against it or whatever. You know, put it down. You know, people tell people to do this setting, that setting for better low light shooting, and go further on with your camera setting. You can't take 3 seconds or split second just to flip that screen down, and it locks nice and tight onto that camera. So there's no really excuse for that. For me, I will hardly use this flip up screen. I don't need to frame my shots. I lived for a long time with cameras that don't have front panels or front display. We're just spoiled by it, to be honest. You know, with the way the technology and the wide shots, wide screens, and the tall 5.3K, the free video, you can crop in. You don't need to frame perfectly, and there's no such thing. But hey, that's my opinion. People will probably say, "Oh no, you know, that's not professional." This is not a professional camera. I'm gonna tell you. Just because it says "Pro" in the name doesn't mean it's a professional camera. Yeah, it lacks 10th bit. But I sold cameras for years and years and years, from the first conception of action cams, and I'm telling you right now, that 10-bit. If you're shooting that kind of quality, yeah, then stick with the GoPros and stick with the action cam or the action DJI. This is not that camera, sorry. But hands down, all the other features, like I have the RS1 and the software integration to this thing, the connectivity, this thing connects to that software instantly. I've always fought with GoPro Quick Camera Connect. It sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't. With all my cameras, I have the GoPro, I have the Silver, I have the Session. Every freaking time there's always a problem connecting. This thing, not an issue. It connects right away, did a firmware update, done, done, done. I was up and running in literally 5 minutes with a firmware update. So that said, software integration, amazing. It's a new experience. The screen, wow. You know, we all know the screen is just unbelievable. The fluid motion of the screen. I like my DJI screen. This is 5 times better. It's that good, and it's that smooth, and it's that fast and responsive. It's crazy what this thing is able to do. Anyways, I don't want to keep ranting here. I'm going to spend some time with this thing, and I'm just doing a quick sample of what I've experienced so far in the last 3 hours. So far has been positive. Yeah, you know, no screen guard. Put an ND filter on it. It's not gonna kill you. And to be honest with you, an ND filter is cheaper than buying a replacement GoPro screen or a DJI screen. They charge 25 bucks, 30 bucks here to replace your screen. I can get an ND filter for this thing for 10 bucks. So it's not a cost issue. Flip screen, yeah, you know, if you're a rugged user and you think you're gonna break that screen, there's 2 options. Buy another camera, go with a GoPro, go with a DJI, or the other alternative, which I'm doing, is I haven't even opened it. I have the dive housing, the dive case. When I touch water, especially salt water, it goes into a dive case. I don't care how deep the thing is rated for, or GoPro is rated for, or DJI. My camera never touch salt water, because you amaze what salt can do to a camera. I've seen cameras go with salt. It's brutal. The corrosion is horrible, especially when you scuba dive as much as I do. Yeah, if you don't rinse a part right away, it's done, the camera. So anyways, I'm ranting again. But as far as I know, the other thing was the AI warp. Let's clarify this. It even says on your app, the AI warp is not free in the new year. Okay, so if you look at the AI warp agreement, it'll tell you the trial runs out on January 1st, 2024. That's the limit of use. It's still free you can only convert 3 times a day. As far as right now with the trial, it's unlimited. So let's clarify a few things. People say, "Oh no, they're taking that. What a scam!" It's not. They're just giving me a limit. It's still free. I doubt I'll do 3 conversions a day, to be honest with you. But really cool feature. It's gimmicky, but I could spend hours playing with that feature, to be honest with you. Anyways, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to do a digital zoom with this if I can. Let me just hold on here. Man, I love that screen. Whew. Hold on again. What? All right, let me just do. Yeah, there we go. So this is 430 with pure view on, with the zoom. It's hard to see on the screen the detail, but once I get it on the computer and download it, I really want to see how this digital. This is the other reason why I bought this. It's one of the biggest requests for for these kind of cameras. Two of the biggest when I was used to sell these cameras was low light shooting and digital zoom. Now this camera has it, and people are picking on other things of this camera that really is kind of fixable with a workaround, right? I'd rather have this kind of detail than worry about if my screen will break or not, and the replacement hassles. You can fix the front screen lens guard. Okay, just put a lens filter on it. That fixes the problem, right? The flip screen, well, you know what? That's user. That's the user. I'm gonna hardly use it. That's me. Some people use it a lot. If you're vlogging and you're surfing, maybe you shouldn't be using. Shouldn't have that screen up. You know what I mean? I know people want to frame their shots and blah 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 blah, but you know, we went through years and years and models, lots of models without front screens. You know, front screens are not old; they're relatively new technology. You know, we managed to live, we survived, we have good shots. So, come on, let's go. Just gotta cross. How's the zoom working? I don't know. I'm gonna try and get some zoom shots far away here. I hope I'm doing this right. What if I should do it in 60 frames? Oh well, I need some time with this thing, so let me just get out of zoom here. There we go, I'm out. Super view is the one. Anyways, ask me anything. Question, I've got this camera in my hand. I'm really liking this. Like the build quality is crazy. I think it's actually probably tougher. I probably not, but it just feels and looks tougher than a GoPro, even a DJI. I have a DJI, right? But I could be wrong. It's just my personal opinion. So, but yeah, the night shots, I won't know until I get back home to see the results. Kind of hard to see on the screen. Okay, stop. I'm crossing the street. Hi, Candace. Look, he's got a blue light. Okay, you ready? Okay, let's go. Look at the reindeer. Yeah, there's a lot of negativity with this camera. You know what, guys? I was a huge GoPro fan, like massive. I'm now a DJI fan, believe it or not. I have their drones, I have their cameras, and I was ready to pull the trigger on an Action 4. And then this came out because I've been following this camera for a while before it was actually launched. I had the tech specs early this year when it was announced, and for me, it looked too good to be true. I was like, this is crazy. There's no way they're gonna do this with this camera. And honestly, if you really look at the camera without the exterior issues like the lens guard and that, it's an amazing camera. Yeah, it doesn't have 10-bit, but I sell cameras. I used to sell cameras. Nobody talks to 10-bit about me with action cams. You know, they could care less, right? You know, we have maybe 10-15% of people who actually will use that 10-bit and in color grading, post color grading. And if you're shooting professional, you know, video, then yeah, go buy a DJI or go buy a GoPro. Don't knock this down because it doesn't have 10-bit and it reaches a wider audience, right? It's not just a vlogging camera. If you had it in your hand and you looked at this thing, it's pretty tough. I plan to put this through a few things like mountain biking, and I'm gonna strap this thing onto my RC. and had it fly around for a little bit. Scuba diving, unfortunately, I won't get this into the water until probably the new year. It's going to be mounted on my bow, so I'm going to try that. The night shots shooting a bow would be freaking awesome. Yeah, guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. Again, I'm not being paid. If you think I am, I'd be happy to show you the receipt, how much I paid for this bloody thing. It wasn't cheap, but I think it's worth it for just the night and the zoom. And I haven't touched base on, you know, 3/4 of the features of this thing yet. But anyways, I'm gonna log off. I'm almost home, but I don't like doing selfies. I barely like looking at myself. So here's my dog. His name is Guinness. He's taking a pee. Here we go. Here we go. All right, guys. Signing off. Peace. See you in a bit. All right. I think I forgot to put in the low light stabilizer. All right, so you can't do pure video in 60, so only 30 frames. That's fine. I'm really looking forward to testing the 8K on this thing. It's gonna look awesome. So far, when it first came out, people were like, yeah, the 8K, it's not usable. It's actually usable. And I think they're gonna concentrate on this 8K, because the 8K was actually last minute decision by Insta360. It was actually originally built for the clarity zoom. They needed that sensor for that incredible detail with clarity zoom, but somebody on one of the videos had mentioned they hit a snag, and it was a good snag, and they're seeing a lot of potential with this 8K. So I think we're going to see a little bit more with this 8K, which will be great, because if it works and they get 30-60 frames on the 8K with a good stabilizer, and it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to kill DJI and GoPro, because GoPro is not coming on with their 8K until what, next year, September? And there's not even any details on what their 8K is going to be. So, you know, and I usually get tech specs on a lot of the stuff here, pre-launch tech specs. I haven't seen much. I've been looking at GoPro. Nope, nothing. They say 8K and that's it. They're not giving any details. So I don't know what the reason for that is, but I'm sure there is one. Anyways, this is 4K 30 low light stabilizer on in pure video mode. Looks great. On the screen it looks good, but I just hope when it gets on the computer it's gonna look freaking awesome. I'm not gonna touch the video other than just send it to YouTube. It's gonna be untouched right out of the camera. So let's. Oh, wait, the other thing too. I'm gonna try something here. Apparently, can I do it with this one? No, I don't think you can. Now you can't do the stills, I don't think, in pure mode. No, you can't. But you can do the zoom. Let's do a zoom here. Oh, I was in zoom. Okay. Okay, so this is out of zoom. Sorry, I'm just still getting a hang of this camera. It's so many bloody settings. It's insane. Like, look at this. It looks really good on the screen. So far, this thing hasn't heated up. Usually when you charge a camera, it heats up quite like my GoPro. When you're charging, the thing is, you can cook an egg on it. This one, no, not so. It's a little warm, but it's not hot. DJI is the same as well, I find. The charging is freaking fast on this thing, because it has that fast charging. It was almost, what, 1/3, 1/4 when I got out of the box. I played around with it for a little bit. I used I was playing around with AI warp. That's another thing I want to talk to you about, AI warp. Somebody had posted AI warp and really give it a bad negative review. We'll get into that in detail later on. But yeah, you know, out of the box, this thing is just freaking awesome. Hi. Yeah, I wish there was a front display. You know, I wish the screen. Well, actually, I don't really care about the flip screen. It's redundant. I'll hardly use it. But again, that's my use for what I'm doing. As for some people saying that this is not an action cam, that's just total BS. Okay, and I'm gonna prove it to you. There's been literally unbiased videos of people who have taken this on mountain bikes, on kayaks, on diving, tough mudders, etc., 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 and it survived. Okay, so the definition of an action cam doesn't say that if you have a flip screen or a non-removable guard, it's not an action cam. Let's not forget that GoPros and back in the day didn't have a replacement screen, and GoPro 8 didn't either. Neither does the Session. The Session is really hard to do. If you break your screen, you have to get a screwdriver out. It's a pain in the rear. So that's not really a declassification as an action cam, right? Because GoPro did it, so because they don't do it now, that means it's not an action cam. It's just total stupid logic. Okay, flip screen, yes, I can see that. Flip screen, you know what? It is giving you a higher risk of damage to the screen. My remedy is that don't use it. Put it down if you're on an action. If you're on a beach and you're doing vlogging, even if you drop it, I think if you drop this thing, I think it still will survive because I've been inspecting this thing closely. The hinge on this thing, it's solid, and it's thick. The plastic or whatever they use for this thing is it's unbelievably strong. Um, yeah, not every camera is gonna be perfect. Not every camera is for everybody. Okay, but to say that this is not an action cam because of that, that's not logical at all. That's your preference and that's your opinion, right? Nowhere says an action cam cannot have a flip screen. Okay, that's not the meaning definition of an action cam. You think it's not an action cam because of that, right? This thing can be used as an action camera, and it's been proven and shown that it has been used as an action cam. Nothing has broken. I haven't seen a damage except for the one guy who had a battery door issue. Listen, I have a GoPro Silver and GoPro Session. I've replaced those doors so many times it's not funny anymore. Okay, at 15 bucks a shot. Okay, so let's not go there. 8-bit or 10-bit, yeah, unfortunately, I think Ace Pro 2 will have the 10-bit. To be honest with you, with the clarity zoom, the 8K, the quality of this camera, the pause function, which I've been using quite often, is actually very useful. I think that overrides on a regular, like an average user. I think that is more important than 10-bit. Okay, 10-bit more for the professionals. Yes, absolutely. I don't disagree. It's not the best camera. It's not a GoPro killer because of those things, but it's pretty close. I'm sorry, but night shots. Listen, it's one of the most requested features of a camera, and we have a camera here that's in its first generation that's already taking care of that request for years now. We have a DJI who's in their 4th generation, GoPro in their 12th generation. They still can't do it, right? So, and you guys are knocking LensGuard. Like, think about what you're saying. Okay, defend the features, don't defend the company. Okay, that's your first problem. All right, if you defend the company, you're a fanboy. Okay, if another camera, a Casso, comes out with a camera that's better than this, you bet your bridges I'm going to jump to a Casso without a flinch, right? Because it's an innovative feature. Period. Okay, these companies like GoPro have gotten lazy. They're slacking. They're losing. They haven't been innovative in years. What are they doing? They're just surfing on the household brand name status. Okay, so if you want to stay with the GoPro, go right ahead, right? At the end of the night, I'm going to show some nice footage to my family, to my friends, and when it's cold out, I'll still be filming in the dark. You guys can use your GoPros as hand warmers. How's that? Okay? Ciao. Sign out. I'll have more to come. Thanks.